From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for November 3rd, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. People across the country formed long lines for free meals and groceries at food pantries and drive-through giveaways Saturday after monthly benefits through the Federal Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, were suddenly cut off because of the ongoing government shutdown. In the New York borough of the Bronx, about 200 more people than usual showed up at the World of Life Christian Fellowship International Pantry, many bundled in winter hats and coats and pushing collapsible shopping carts as they waited in line that spanned multiple city blocks. Some arrived as early as 4 a.m. to choose from pallets of fruits, vegetables, bread, milk, juice, dry goods, and prepared sandwiches. Mary Martin, who volunteers at the pantry, also relies on it regularly for food to supplement her SNAP payments. She said she usually splits her roughly $200 a month in SNAP benefits between herself and her two adult sons, one of whom has 6 children and is especially dependent on the assistance. The Department of Agriculture planned to withhold payments to the food program starting Sunday. Until that is, 2 federal judges ordered the administration to make them. However, it was unclear as to when the debit cards that beneficiaries use could be reloaded after the ruling, sparking fear and confusion among many recipients. And an apparent response to President Donald Trump, who said he would provide the money but wanted more legal direction from the court, U.S. District Judge John J. McConnell in Rhode Island ordered the government to report back by Monday on how it would fund SNAP accounts. McConnell, who was nominated by President Barack Obama, said the Trump administration must either make a full payment by that day, or if it decides to tap a $3 billion contingency fund, figure out how to do that by Wednesday. Meanwhile, Republicans and Democrats remained at a stalemate on the government shutdown over the weekend as it headed into its 6th week, with food aid potentially delayed or suspended for millions of Americans, and President Donald Trump pushing GOP leaders to change Senate rules to end it. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Sunday that Trump has spoken to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the Republican from South Dakota, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, as he has publicly and repeatedly pushed for an end to the Senate filibuster. But Republicans have strongly rejected Trump's calls since his first term, arguing that the rule requiring 60 votes to overcome any objections in the Senate is vital to the institution and has allowed them to stop Democratic policies when they are in the minority. Leavitt said Sunday that the Democrats are crazed people who haven't shown any signs of budging. That's why President Trump has said Republicans need to get tough. They need to get smart, and they need to use this option to get rid of the filibuster, to reopen the government and do right by the American people, Leavitt said on Sunday Morning Futures on Fox News. Now, Democrats have voted 13 times against reopening the government, denying Republicans the votes in the 53 to 47 Senate, as they insist on negotiations to extend government health care subsidies that will be cut off at the end of the year. Republicans say they won't negotiate until the government's reopened. With the two parties at a standstill, the shutdown, now in its 33rd day, appears likely becomes the longest in history. The previous record was set in 2019 when Trump demanded that Congress give him money for a U.S.-Mexico border wall. Now, folks, if you are watching the video on YouTube, the photo that's attached here is of Brock Brooks. He's a disabled Marine Corps veteran, and he's crying while describing the impending SNAP shutdowns while waiting in line to enter the food pantry service at Calvary Episcopal Church on October 30th, 2025 in Louisville, Kentucky. Mr. Brooks is among the millions of people who will be harshly impacted by what seems to be a never-ending deadlock and breakdown of the federal government. During this budgetary impasse, Congress is not suffering. Congressional members continue to eat. They remain housed, and they go about their days as if people like Brock don't exist. Note to Congress and President Trump: Real people are suffering without food, and they run the risk of losing health care. That's the news at this hour. If you're watching the video version of our newscasts on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. If you are in the Meadville area, please be sure to stop by the Meadville Walmart grocery entrance and visit the Special Olympics table. If you are able, please donate to their program. All proceeds benefit the local Special Olympics. Coming up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.